You ever hear someone say something so casually it echoes in your head for days afterward? Don't ask questions, just trust me. She said it like she was talking about picking a restaurant. No warning in her voice. No edge. Just a soft urgency that didn't match the quiet storm behind her eyes. I remember the way she looked at me when she said it. Not afraid. Not desperate. More like someone who knew something had already happened, and whatever came next was out of both our hands. I let it go. That was the mistake. It was late, around 10:30, maybe. She stood at the sink, rinsing a wine glass she hadn't actually used. I know because I cleaned it earlier. She hadn't had anything to drink that night, but the scent of Cabernet still lingered on her breath. It didn't make sense then, but I wasn't putting the pieces together yet. Just trust me, she said again, this time softer. Her back was to me. I stood there in the hallway like a stranger in my own home. She didn't kiss me goodnight. She just went upstairs and locked the door. It wasn't unusual, her being distant. The last 6 months had been strange, off-kilter in a way that felt too subtle to call out. You know when the fridge starts humming louder than usual, and you tell yourself it's nothing, until one day it just dies on you? That was us. We weren't fighting. We weren't screaming. But we weren't touching either. Weren't laughing. Weren't leaning into each other on the couch during reruns of the same 5 shows we'd always loved. The intimacy was gone, and worse, it didn't feel like a loss. It felt like a transaction we had both quietly agreed to end. But I didn't ask questions, because she said not to, and because deep down, I was afraid I wouldn't like the answers. That week passed slowly. She left early for work every day, even earlier than usual, and came back late. Always the same excuse. Meeting ran long, or traffic was crazy. She said it with a straight face, but her perfume always smelled like it had been freshly applied, never like it had faded over hours. I noticed, but I didn't say anything. Wednesday, she called from the car, said she might need to leave town for a few days. Don't worry, she added quickly. It's just a thing for work. What kind of thing? There was a pause. Just long enough. Just, trust me, okay? That was the 3rd time she'd said it. The exact same phrase. I should have trusted my instincts instead. She didn't come home that night. Or the next. I told myself it was fine. I scrolled through her Instagram, looking for clues. She hadn't posted in over a week. Her location tagging had stopped. Comments were down. Even her stories were empty. Not like her at all. By Friday, I had called her twice. No answer. No text back. Then Saturday morning came. The package was unmarked. No return address. Just a slim padded envelope with my name scrawled across it in handwriting that was unmistakably hers. I stood in the kitchen, turning it over in my hands like it might explode. It was light, maybe an ounce or two, but something inside shifted when I moved it. A flash drive. Matte black. No stickers, no markings. Just a standard USB. I stared at it for 10 minutes before plugging it in. My hands trembled. Not dramatically, not like in the movies, but just enough that I noticed. Enough to know that some part of me already knew what was coming. The drive had only one folder. It was labeled simply, Before You Hate Me. And that's when I felt it, that heavy sinking weight in my chest. The kind that only comes when you realize the truth isn't just coming. It's already here, waiting. I clicked it open. Inside were 7 video files, each titled with a date. The earliest one was from over a year ago. I didn't play them in order. I don't know why. My hand moved faster than my brain, and I clicked the most recent one first. It was her, sitting on our bed, hair pulled back, no makeup. She looked exhausted. If you're watching this, she said, then I couldn't bring myself to tell you in person. There was a silence after that, 15 seconds of silence. I counted. She looked off camera, swallowed hard, and said, I never meant for it to happen this way. My knees went weak. I actually had to sit down. My throat tightened, and for a second, I thought I might throw up. She continued, You're probably angry. I get that. You deserve to be. But before you start thinking the worst, I need you to see it all. Every video. Every message. Start from the beginning. Please. Do that for me. Then the screen went black. Just like that. No explanation. No confession. Just a prompt. Watch everything. I stared at the folder. The dates were spread over 13 months. What could she possibly need me to understand that took over a year to explain? And why now? Why this way? I didn't touch the other files right away. I sat there in the dim light of our kitchen, the clock ticking louder than usual, the hum of the refrigerator suddenly a background soundtrack to the moment everything shifted. Because this wasn't just a betrayal. It was a puzzle, and I was about to step into it, piece by painful piece. The first video dated back to June of the previous year. I remember that week. It was just after our 7th anniversary. She'd gotten me a leather-bound journal, and we'd spent the weekend in a cabin upstate. I thought we were reconnecting. She laughed at my awful campfire coffee and slept curled into me like it still meant something. But in the video, she was alone in that same cabin. The background was unmistakable. The grain of the wood. The old brass lamp. "I'm starting this now," she said, her voice almost a whisper. "Because I'm not sure how long I'll be able to keep hiding it. Not from you. Not from myself." She looked different, like someone bracing for impact. "I haven't done anything yet," she continued. "Not physically, but emotionally. I don't know. Maybe I crossed that line already." She looked down, picked at her thumbnail. "It's someone from work. I know how that sounds. I know what you're thinking, but it wasn't like I went looking for it. It just happened. Late nights. Shared projects. The usual script, I guess." I paused the video. I didn't want to hear more, but I couldn't stop. I press play again. I keep thinking I can stop it before it gets worse. But then I see him again, and it's like, I forget what loyalty is supposed to feel like. She shook her head, wiped one eye. "I haven't told him I'm married. That should mean something, right?" No, it didn't mean anything. It meant she was already writing the first chapter of her alibi. I watched the next video. July. She was at her office this time, filming from a dimly lit conference room. "I told him today," she said. "About you. About the fact that I'm married." He didn't walk away. He didn't even flinch. She gave a sad little laugh. That scared me more than if he'd gotten angry. It made me realize how easy it was for both of us to pretend there were no consequences. She leaned closer to the camera. "I need you to understand, this wasn't about you. It wasn't because you failed or because I stopped loving you. I think part of me still does. But the version of love I have for you, it's gotten small. Quiet. Like a song you used to know by heart, but haven't sung in years." I felt something inside me crack then. Quietly. Almost politely. The kind of emotional break that doesn't make a sound. It just quietly rearranges everything you thought was true. The third video was from September. A hotel room. The same red throw pillows we used on our last anniversary stay. Same framed abstract painting. She'd taken him to the same place she once took me. This time, she didn't cry. She looked directly at the camera. "I slept with him." 3 words. That's all she said. Then she just sat there, looking at me, or the version of me in the camera, for what felt like an hour. No apology. No rationalization. Just the truth, stripped down to the bone. I stopped there for the night. I couldn't keep going. I sat on the floor of our kitchen, the fridge buzzing behind me, the flash drive still blinking softly in the port like a heartbeat. I stared at the dark screen and tried to remember how her voice used to sound when she said, "I love you." It didn't sound like any of the voices in those videos. I didn't sleep that night. Couldn't. When morning came, I brewed coffee like I used to. 2 sugars, splash of oat milk, the way she liked it. Muscle memory. It hit me mid-stir that I didn't need to do that anymore. She wasn't coming back. Not the version of her I knew. I watched the 4th and 5th videos back to back. October and November. In October, she was furious. Not at me, at him. "He started asking for money," she said. "Threatening to tell you everything. Says he'll show you messages, pictures. That he's recorded us. He doesn't love me. He just wanted to win." She paused. "I'm so stupid. I should have seen this coming." In November, the fear had turned to planning. I've started gathering everything. Documents, files, screenshots. He thinks I'm still playing along, but I've been saving copies of every message. I don't know what I'll do with them yet, but I need to be ready. I need to make this right before you find out from someone else. That was the moment I realized the flash drive wasn't a confession. It was a warning, a shield, a preemptive apology wrapped in digital evidence. She knew he was going to go public. She knew the lie was burning too hot to contain. And maybe, just maybe, this was her version of saving me. Giving me the truth before the wreckage hit the front porch. The 6th video? December. She was in her car, parked on the side of the road somewhere. Rain tapped softly on the windshield. "He told me he was going to your office," she said. "Said he wants to burn it all down. I don't know if it's a bluff or not. He's spiraling. But if he does, if he comes to you with any of it, please, believe what I'm saying now. Not what he says. Not what he'll twist." She swallowed hard. "I never stopped loving you. I just forgot how to show it. And then came the last video, dated the day before the flash drive arrived. She was at our kitchen table, the same one I sat at to watch the videos. I mailed it today, she said. You'll probably hate me by the time you see this. That's okay. I probably deserve it. But if you can't forgive me, at least understand me. I didn't cheat because of what you lacked. I cheated because I forgot how to be honest. With you. With myself. She smiled, faintly. I'm leaving town for a while. I don't know if I'll ever be brave enough to come back. But you deserve to know the truth before someone uses it to hurt you. Then she reached forward, and the screen went black. I didn't delete the videos. I didn't forward them. I didn't even tell anyone. For 4 days, I just lived with them, waking up each morning with the weight of it all pressing down like an invisible fog. But I knew what I had to do. She left a trail, not a breadcrumb one, more like a path paved in digital confessions. Emails, screenshots, audio recordings she'd attached to the flash drive. I went through them slowly, deliberately, mapping out the affair in timestamps and text logs. She had been careful, smart even, but she underestimated him. His name was Alex, 32, marketing consultant, half smirk in every selfie, a LinkedIn bio full of buzzwords and bluster. The kind of guy who always had a reason why nothing was his fault. I found his number in one of the email threads. I called from a blocked line. He answered on the second ring. This is Alex. You don't know me, I said, but you know my wife. A pause, then a scoff. Oh, so this is the husband. His tone made something in my chest turn hard. Don't hang up, I said calmly. I'm not here to argue. I just want to understand what your endgame was. He laughed. My endgame? She was the one who started it. You think I showed up with a wrecking ball? She invited me in. I expected that. But then he added, and if she didn't tell you everything, well, that's not my fault either. What didn't she tell me? Let me guess. She played the victim, right? Said I pressured her. Threatened her. Classic. I didn't respond. I let the silence work on him. He continued, cocky now. She left out the part where she asked me to blackmail you. Said you'd never give her a clean divorce otherwise. That if we scared you just enough, you'd walk away with your tail between your legs. That hit me like a gut punch. She recorded everything, I said quietly. Every message. Every plan. Including the one where you threatened to ruin me. He hesitated. The silence turned stiff. She's playing both sides, I added. You should know that. Another beat passed. I don't care, he muttered. She chose me. That's all that matters. You're wrong, I said. She didn't choose either of us. She tried to save herself. She just did it too late. Then I hung up. I didn't hear from him again. The next morning, I called my firm's security team. We upgraded all access systems, scrubbed devices, ran a full sweep. I wasn't going to be the fool caught with his pants down. Later that week, I filed for a protective order. My lawyer helped submit the evidence from the flash drive, just in case. No legal action against her yet, just distance. Safety. Breathing room. But the confrontation changed something in me. For the first time since it all began, I wasn't mourning the relationship. I was processing the person she had become. Not the woman I married, not the woman I loved for years, but the version of her who filmed confessionals instead of having conversations. Who used the truth not to reconnect, but to soften her exit. I waited another week before reaching out. I sent her a letter. Handwritten. 2 pages. I didn't accuse. I didn't rage. I just asked questions she probably couldn't answer. Why didn't you come to me when you started slipping away? Why didn't you tell me the truth before you crossed the line? And the one that kept me up most nights. Was there ever a version of this where we made it through? She didn't respond. Instead, a package arrived, smaller than the last. Inside was my journal, the one she gave me on our anniversary. On the first page, in her handwriting, was a single line. You didn't fail me. I failed us. Nothing else. No apology. No address. No signature. Just that one sentence. I didn't cry. Not because I didn't want to, but because I think part of me had already run dry. Like the grief had been used up in slow leaks over months of silence, glances that didn't linger, and half hugs that said more in their hesitation than any words could. I boxed up the journal. I didn't throw it away. Some things deserve to be kept, not as reminders of pain, but as evidence of how far we've come. It's been 6 months now. The house feels different. Lighter. Quieter. I've started writing in a new journal, not about her, but about me. About the man I'm becoming on the other side of betrayal. Because that's what they don't tell you. Betrayal doesn't just burn bridges. It burns the version of you that believed in certain kinds of forever, and in its place, it leaves something quieter, wiser, not colder, exactly, but more careful. I'm not angry at her anymore. I think that's the biggest win. I don't trust as easily now, but when I do, I'll make sure it's with someone who doesn't need a flash drive to tell me the truth. And if they ever say, "Don't ask questions, just trust me," I'll know that's not love. That's a warning. One I won't ignore again.